What is up, guys? Zebec, the neobank of the future. I had a few clips here that I saw that just remind us of why it's so important for Zebec to be a neobank of the future, why it's so important for Zebec to have a Zebecnet, why that's way more important for Zebec than a Zebec doing its own layer one. We'll talk about that, and we'll talk about how this time is different. I was on the Blockchain Buzz show with Maximus Crypto Future, Rob Mass, also with Jesse from I think it's KRI Finance. My first time meeting Jesse, it was a very good show. Well, some of the things that came up there was how this time is different. And I'm going to tell you how this time is different. And we'll get into that and more today. But first, cue my guy, Indigo Saint. Let's get it. Let's get it. Indigo Saint in the building. Blackrue Investing. Let's go.
Who's this producer?
Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. With your money, you ain't gotta be guessing. Profits is what we manifesting. So we binge on that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing. Got course in this race, we ain't resting. We got stocks, we got crypto with a blessing. So thank God for that Blackrue Investing. Best believe it was Blackrue Investing.
What is going on, Rue Crew? Hitting you on the last day of November here. Gonna be a great show today, as always. Definitely like and subscribe if you guys haven't already. Let's go ahead and hit the BTCC and Decent Wallet commercial now. I have many friends earning money every day trading futures on BTCC. It's simple. Even if you don't want to learn how to trade, you can follow a trader on the site and let him do the trading for you. And you'll earn according to his trades. So even if you don't know how to trade, there's a way to make money. Earn some extra money on BTCC. Of course, you should learn how to trade. Links to the Patreon are in the description. You don't have to KYC. You don't have to use a VPN. It's a wonderful site. They've been around since 2011. Give them a shot. Also, when you earn extra money, you can store it in your Decent Wallet. Decent Wallet is safe, easy to use, and it allows crypto swaps within the wallet. It's a wonderful product. You can get the discount by using the link. The only way to get the discount is to use the link. The link is popping up in the upper right-hand side of your screen. You can also get free shipping. Pick up your Decent Wallet today. Secure your assets. If you don't have them stored in a wallet, they may be at risk. So pick up one today. What's going on? Poor regulars in the house. What's up, Kevin Garrett? What's up, Lee? What's up, Bob the Builder? What's up, King Pound? Hey, it is a great day here in Arizona, nice and sunny. Hey, and it's always a good day to talk about crypto and what's going on here. Yeah, so let's get into it here. We'll start off with kind of a reminder from the guys with the Stablecoin podcast. I think the guy's name is Rami. I love the way he broke this down. He broke it down so well. I created a short for this, okay? And I'll let Rami do the talking here. This breaks down what and who Zebec is in less than a minute to me. Definitely check out my shorts if you haven't already. But let's go ahead and play.
Card companies are actually being super smart here in that they are utilizing their network without having to, or their trusted network, the trust that's there, and the link to the merchants for people to buy things, and dislocating or disintermediating the banks in between. So Zebec effectively, as you say, is a neobank for the unbanked, for people who don't have a bank. So you're able to spend money, earn money, send money, and looking at your website, you can stake, and there are some investment products there as well. You don't need a bank, actually.
Absolutely.
Card companies are actually being super smart.
So, like he said at the end there, like you can spend money, send monies, stake money, and you have the staking products. So you really don't need a bank with Zebec. And the really brilliant part about it is that they're starting at the payroll end, right? So they're at the moment you create money, at the moment you make money, you now have the super app and you can do whatever with your money from the super app. You can either spend it, save it, invest it, whatever, right? But Zebec is there first with you, right? So I think that's a really, really brilliant part about that. I want to play this in part one more time because he says it. Oh, wrong.
So card companies are actually being super smart here and is a neobank for the unbanked for people who don't have a bank. So you're able to spend money, earn money, send money, and looking at your website, you can stake and there are some investment products there as well. You don't need a bank actually.
Absolutely.
To card
Spend
companies.
money, earn money, send money, and there are some investment products there as well as staking. So it covers the whole gamut: payroll, remittance payments with the sending of money, and also staking and investing money. So it's literally the whole kind of payroll stack, if you will, right? And with the Zebec card, you can spend the money too. Okay, so it's liquid. It's liquid too. So that's amazing. Now the part that I wanted to talk about here, and of course, get all your questions in. We'll get to the questions at the end here, is the Zebecnet part. So the whole NEOBANK thing, right? The whole NEOBANK thing is even better with the Zebecnet. We're heading into, and you might hear a lot of people talk about this, the gig economy, right? And I think as we have more AI and more robotics, only the best of the best will make it in their profession. And with things like Zebec, you can have someone have a phone, have a neobank, and you can hire, say, I'm a programmer, right? So you could hire a programmer in like China or Russia or Australia and possibly pay them less money than you would an American. And maybe you only hire them for a task or a gig and they get paid instantly, right? So with that, Zebec is going to need to have the Zebecnet, right? Where your phone is essentially your bank, your crypto wallet. I think that's even more important for Zebec than its own layer one, because they want to be chain agnostic. They want to I think they connect to like 20 chains now. So for them, it's going to be really important to be this phone app where, okay, the employer can immediately pay you. And we have some words from Simon Babakani basically explaining that. Let's go share this tab and have Simon say it for us here. Let me bring that back up.
We started with our revolutionary payroll streaming technology, and we've now built an ecosystem of products around it, such as the Zebec card suite and the upcoming Zebec super app, to ensure that our users have real-time global access to our network and low latency transactions at all times. We had no choice but to launch our own mobile network, Zebecnet, in partnership and powered by World Mobile.
Zebec is one of the very rare and very few companies in the space that is actually real world use, that people can actually use a product that's in Web3. World Mobile has always said, in order to bank the unbanked, you first need to connect the unconnected. Connecting the unconnected and banking the unbanked is something that seems to be very close to us. So I'm very much looking forward to seeing where we can take this.
We started with our revolutionary
When you
payroll.
think about this, I'm sure companies like Dash, who is a recent new partner, see this and they're seeing the way that people are headed with neobanks. I mean, in America, we kind of already have like the Cash Apps and the Venmos of the world, right? And Zelle, which is going to be a part of Zebec super app. So we kind of have that locked down. But again, when you think about countries like, over in China or different things like that, that area is ripe for a company like Zebec to step in and be like this neobank where people can instantly send stable coins and, just hire whomever they want, right? So this is really going to make things easier and more simplistic and cheaper for corporates, because now they can get anyone, they can hire anyone. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter about, okay, well, I'm a United States company. No, I can, with Zebecnet, just hire the greatest programmer in like, Kazakhstan, and like pay him in like US dollars, which will probably be cheaper than paying a programmer here in America. So honestly, this is something to like, the downside of this is that the competition is going to be really, really fierce in certain jobs, because now like we're going to be borderless when it comes to our gigs too. That's something to really think about. Gigs are going to be borderless when we talk about gigs that can be done remotely, like software, like in a certain sense, we already see this happening with call centers and things like that. Like, you pick up and there's like a call center in like, Mexico or whatever. But, of course, that might be AI coming up here pretty soon. AI will take most of those jobs. But for things like programming and things like that, where you could possibly hire someone in another country and have a cheaper way of doing that, jobs are going to be borderless. And, in comes a company like Zebec, that's going to be pretty big, right? So, so we just heard here from Simon, and now let's hear from, this is a Raul Paul video. This is coming from the general manager of Solana Mobile, okay? Now he's going to say this from like a Solana Mobile point of view, but keep in mind, this is why Zebec wanted their own mobile, because now they can do it not only with Solana, they can do it on Ethereum, they can do it with a private stablecoin, they can do it with ZK zero knowledge proofs, they can do whatever, right? And it gives them a lot more flexibility having it in their hands as opposed to just on Solana, right? So let's listen to this. But again, remember, he's Solana focused, this guy, since he's Solana Mobile. But think about this in terms of Zebec Mobile, okay? And Zebecnet.
You think outside of our bubble in, the US and around, is when you've got a hardware device like this, think what it means for stablecoin payments when you can tap.
Totally.
So,
yeah,
then suddenly,
yeah, I was
it
gonna say
becomes a very.
And guys, how important is that? And again, we're going to be kind of reacting to this. I don't want it to go through the whole way. So think about the importance to stablecoin payments. And what has Zebec been doing? Getting all these different stablecoins that they're attached to. RLUSD, Circle, of course, USDC, the PAX stablecoins, the PayPal stablecoin, all these different stablecoins that they work with, the Freedom Dollar with Zano. There's also like, I think GUSD. So many different stable coins, right? And this is what Raul Paul is talking about. Think about how great these phones are going to work with, like the Solana phone or the Zebecnet will work with stable coins, okay? Just like we talked about earlier, it would make jobs borderless, right? Which is kind of what XRP is going to do for money, right? Kind of make it borderless money, cross-border, right? Cross-asset with money. Zebec can do the same thing with jobs, right? So let's continue here.
Outside of our bubble in, the US and around, is when you've got a hardware device like this, think what it means for stablecoin payment.
Yeah, I was
it
going to say
becomes a
payments
very
is
easy process.
totally. Yeah, payments is a really critical opportunity for us, right? When you look again, I think you framed it well. Kind of take yourself out of the US for a second. As people come online in certain parts of the world, they're doing it through mobile devices, right? These are people who are maybe new to the internet. They're doing it through inexpensive mobile devices that they primarily get through their carrier. And not only that, the relationship that they have with the carrier and with their phone is also a bank. They're also using it to pay for stuff. They're using it at point of sales terminals. And so mobile in so many parts of the world became synonymous, not only with the internet, but also with global payments infrastructure. And so take that really powerful idea and infuse everything that's great about crypto as it relates to payments, you have a really compelling package. And so that's, payments is something we're really working to make sure that we're solving user needs around the world with.
So stop it right there for a second. So exactly, right? And they've done metrics on this. It seems like they've done different use cases on this. People around the world, how they've been onboarded, if you will, to the internet is through their mobile. Okay. And through their mobile, they've also seen that they've been doing payments, right? So this is everything that we were talking about, but again, applied to Zebecnet, right?
By default, we're launching with Seed Vault Wallet. And so it handles a lot of the core Solana Pay infrastructure stuff on an as needed basis, but connecting it to that real world physical card, that's not something that we've natively integrated. It's something we're thinking about, but obviously there are loads of great card providers who can give you means to spend your USDC or your other SPL tokens. So I expect to see that to continue to take.
Who are the card providers to let you spend your USDC? That's Zebec, right? And so he says it without saying it there. Let's continue, but go back for just a second and have him say that again.
As needed basis, but connecting it to that real world physical card, that's not something that we've natively integrated. It's something we're thinking about, but obviously there are loads of great card providers who can give you means to spend your USDC or your other SPL tokens. So I expect to see that to continue to take off.
Yeah, just in my head, because I've spent a lot of time traveling around the world in various countries, is like there's such a nice UX you can do. Let's say I'm in India, the Philippines, wherever I want, and I can just flick you $5.
Yeah, totally.
Right? And it goes to your phone, right?
Yeah.
That experience is gorgeous user experience. The Indian stablecoin, not stablecoin, whatever it is, the government sponsored one, that's the UX that they've got. So you get a picture of like a 5 rupee note or 10 rupee note, and you just flick it at the person as if you're giving it to them. I'm like,
that's great.
That's genius, because it makes it even less technical and so kind of visceral. It's like, here, I'm giving you money. It's like stuff like that you can do with the mobile. You cannot do otherwise.
Not only that, that is one awesome use case. Like, that's just great. Every time I travel, I'm always curious to know how people are paying their friends, right? Like in the US, it feels like Venmo and the Cash App have kind of won. You go to somewhere that doesn't have the banking infrastructure we have, or a government that's quite as trustworthy, and they can't really rely on it to the same degree, and they're a little bit confused. So I love that use case, but also too, it's going to be really important to get security right. If people start using their phones to self-custody assets as opposed to relying on a third party to custody them, there's going to be like some natural anxiety about, oh, okay, I've got like what feels like real money in this phone. It changes people's model, the mental model they have, right? As opposed to thinking of your phone as, oh, this is how I sign into my bank, but this isn't my bank. This doesn't hold my money. It's just how I get there. The moment that changes and it is more reflective of you self-custodying those funds, you've got to make sure you give customers a really secure device. Because the moment somebody flicks that 5 rupee note to a friend and then it gets lost on the way, or somebody steals it, or your friend's phone gets hacked, you're not going to do it again. Like you're just going to go back to whatever you were doing before. That might not be as easy to use. It might not have the same experience. It might be more expensive, but at least it's safe. And so that's something we're really dedicated to solving, is like, make sure you're giving self-custody users the best possible experience they can have on any mobile device.
So you obviously like this video enough.
So great there. He's right with the security. That's going to be very important. But everything that he mentioned there is like, okay, I want to kind of see how people are abroad using and using their device and purchasing. Like, yes, like it is very easy to flick and like send some money to someone via a Zelle, via Chime, via Zelle, all these different avenues, right? But once it goes to like from I'm flicking money to people to like I'm actually holding my wallet in my hand, now we really need to make sure that this thing is super, 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 super secure. So that's a good point, and this is what we can expect if we kind of transfer that conversation over and make it over to Zebecnet. Why this could be very, very, very huge for Zebec, and especially in these countries like Nepal, which we know, Sam Tapali is from, like banking the unbanked, like the guy from World Mobile Token mentioned. But more than that, more than those type of things, for the gig economy, it now makes jobs borderless. Okay, so in 3 to 5 years, we could be looking at a borderless job economy in which people are just going to be doing gigs in order to survive or live. So it's very interesting. We've already kind of explored this subject a little bit here with the last couple of shows that we've done. I don't know if you guys have realized that, but we have explored this subject a little bit with talking about definitely check out the past shows, universal basic income, and different things like that. We've talked about the Trump dividend checks. We've explored this topic a little bit in that it's seeming to be down the line. This is where we're headed. This is not something that I want, but this seems like what the powers are heading to, a world in which AI and robots have a bigger stake, take some jobs away, a lot of a good ton of jobs away. Does that mean that there are job opportunities in the metaverse that people are doing? Does that mean that now you got to be really the best at your craft? Does that mean you should pivot into something that's like a remote job or something that's like an online job, or pivot to something that's more like a skilled trade? That's something that we can explore in the future. But for us, as far as Zebec and being Zebec investors, this seems to be playing right into the hands of what Zebec is going to be good at, and what they're made for: the streaming payments for the gig economy, increasing the velocity of payments, making it faster for people to spend their money now, right? So now one of the things I wanted to kind of transition into was a talk about Galaxy Digital, right? We know Galaxy Digital because these guys were the ones who had the whole Deutsche Bank deal with Zebec, right? Let me just show you that deal one more time here. 1 second. Let me bring that up. Sorry, I'm gonna do this live. I thought I already had that pulled up, but I didn't. So let me scroll down to it just to remind you about that Deutsche Bank deal, which we've been talking about a lot in the last couple of days as well, right? Almost got it pulled up here. Okay, here we go. So Deutsche Bank's All Unity stablecoin selects Zebec as its global payroll partner. Down here, you see All Unity investors, flow traders, Galaxy, and DWS. DWS is like Deutsche Bank's, another one of Deutsche Bank's, like it's like its digital asset arm. And Galaxy Digital, as it turns out, is a company that's headed by Mike Novogratz. You might remember Mike Novogratz from like Stellar Lunar, Stellar Lunar. like Terra Luna, the whole Terra Luna thing. He very famously put like Terra Luna on his arm before like Terra Luna kind of collapsed. Well, he's the CEO of Galaxy Digital. And let's just explore Galaxy Digital a little bit. So one of the things that Galaxy Digital is doing is they're also taking a little run at Robinhood. So Galaxy Digital, Robinhood's dominance at stake as Galaxy enters a retail investing. So Galaxy is entering retail investment. Shout out to the patrons. You know about Galaxy Digital and how you can invest in Galaxy Digital. But let's continue going here. Has launched Galaxy One, a retail investing app that combines crypto trading, stock, and ETF access, and high yield cash accounts. Okay. So for right now, it seems like this is something that's just available for like accredited investors. They're trying to be like kind of a highbrow Robinhood. Instead of targeting all of retail, they're targeting accredited type people. So that's very, very interesting here. So we shall see how that goes. But not only that, Galaxy is working with, of course, Deutsche Bank, which what we showed you. And let's hear from Mike Novogratz and hear how Galaxy kind of made a change. They went from a Bitcoin mining operation to an AI data center, which we should talk a little bit more about, okay, after this. But let's go ahead and play Mike Novogratz here and Raul Paulo again, actually.
Yeah. You're up to ridiculous amounts of things. So catch us up with what you're doing. You got the announcements today of Galaxy One. You got the data center business. You've got, I mean, it's just, you've got.
So we just went over the Galaxy One part. That's the whole like accredited investor kind of Robin Hoodish thing that they're doing. Now they have the whole AI data center. And this was from like a month ago. They didn't even bring up the part about, or at least in this clip, they didn't bring it up, the stablecoin. But let's continue.
Everything, you tokenize your equity. You've got to talk me through it because you're up to all sorts of things. And I can see there's a lot of retail interest. You and I were chatting about this offline the other day. There's a lot of retail interest in Galaxy now because it seems to be really focused on all of the kind of key points that people are looking at. So a lot of people really want to know what you're up to.
Listen, we had not done. It's hard to tell your story when you're listed in Canada and you're a U.S. based company and you're not allowed to. It's like pre-selling a market and all these SEC rules. And so we've done a much better job telling our story, and we've got a good story to tell. We have a unbelievable data center business, right? We have 800 megawatts already leased out. That's 20 billion plus.
And explain to people how that came about. Why you suddenly came into the date? Because people won't put two and two together, but it's best to explain it.
Yeah, a little bit of luck and a little bit of skill. We got into Bitcoin mining after 2021 because we had made so much money. We had put a lot of it into an opportunity zone, and Bitcoin mining is a great opportunity zone asset. And so we said, okay, let's Bitcoin mine in opportunity zones. And as it turned out, we didn't own our own data center. So we were going to places that we could host that were in opportunity zones. And as 2022 started unfolding and the price of Bitcoin came down, a lot of those hosting agreements turned out not to be as firm as you'd think, right? There was either deception or bad judgment on our part. And we were like, oh shit, we have all these chips and no place to put them. And so Chris Ferraro, my president, was like, I'm not doing this again. We're going to own our own infrastructure. And so we searched for infrastructure, and there was a company named Argo, public company, that was under duress. And we gave them a loan, and we bought their data center from them. That gave them enough money to pay back the debt they owed and stay alive. Well, that data center called Helios turned out to literally be not just the best Bitcoin mining data center, but one of the best AI data centers. And when I first got my phone and started playing with ChatGPT, we started talking about, well, how do we play AI? And I was quite frankly on a plane with a friend of mine who was an expert at power. And he gave me the whole we're running out of power thesis. And I told him at my data center, and he's like, dude, I'll buy that. I was like, well, and all of a sudden people started coming to us, and we were smart enough not to sell it. We did our homework and quickly realized, out with the Bitcoin mines and with the AI data center.
So that part is extremely interesting to me, that they stopped Bitcoin mining and decided to do an AI data center. Now, shout out to the patrons. You know something that we're looking at as far as AI goes and things like that. So that makes me even more high on that. Okay, definitely look into the Patreon, guys. Less than a cup of coffee. We do weekly open mic nights. It's always a fun time. But that makes me even more bullish on that, because it seems like power for AI is actually extremely a thing, right? Extremely needed thing. Which also leads me to the point of, if you're just this AI company, how are you going to beat like a Google or OpenAI or a Claude, which has like all these Google power centers? OpenAI has all the like Amazon and Tesla like power centers. Like, how can you beat these big AI companies? It's going to be hard pressed for you to beat them, right? And what your AI can hold, right? So it seems like power for AI is going to be really a thing in the future. And it seems like Galaxy is kind of getting the drop on that with a little luck there, according to Mike Novogratz. But let's continue on and listen to him here.
We have a strong team down there. We made relationships with a lot of the hyperscalers and picked CoreWeave to be our partner. It was a risky bet to some degree, but they were at the same part of their growth trajectory as we were. And now on our first 800 megawatts, which is what we had, they have leased it out for 15 years plus two 5-year extensions. Their credit's getting better by the week, which is great for us. And so we are in the process of building. The first data halls come online in the first quarter, and that's when it starts cash flowing. But in 2.5 years' time, when it's all built out, it'll be $700-800 million of free cash flow a year with 95% margins, because all we're doing is security, and we provide the shell and the power connections, and they do the inside. And it's about a $7 billion capex build for us. And so what does it take to be a player, to go from Bitcoin mining to this? You need access to the power now. And the power people care about was 2026, 2027, 2028. The further you get along, they care a little less, right? So we had that power. Then you need a tenant. Tenant's got to trust you, that you can build it on time, that you have the resources to do it, that you can get it financed. Then you got to get it financed. So we borrowed 1.4 billion from Deutsche Bank recently, and we'll borrow.
So they borrowed 1.4 million from Deutsche Bank. Now, think about how much more sense that makes now when you look at this partnership that we were just talking about. So not only are Galaxy and Deutsche Bank partners with this stable coin, Galaxy and Deutsche Bank are also partners with that data center. Okay, so again, that even makes more sense when you think about Galaxy being a Bloomberg company and Zebec being added to that Bloomberg index. Now, some people say that they were removed, and maybe they were removed because of liquidity, and when they get more liquidity and things head back up, they'll be put back in the index. But needless to say, they were in the index, so they're on Galaxy's radar, and they are a partner with Galaxy in this project, right? But all of this starts to come together when you think about, okay, well, they were already partners with Deutsche Bank. This is from September 23rd, 2025. This is when they announced this to us. And then here, Novogratz, he's talking and I think this is October. So this is only a couple days after. You know what I mean? Like 20 days after. So they're partners, and they've been partners. So this makes a lot of sense.
Or another 2.8 billion and then another billion to build the whole thing out. You can't get it financed. You can get it financed. Then you got to get it financed. So we borrowed 1.4 billion from Deutsche Bank recently, and we'll borrow another 2.8 billion and then another billion to build the whole thing out. You can't get it financed unless you have equity on your balance sheet, right? Because even though you're bringing in the lease and saying, hey, this is what you're financing, here's the lease, they're like, yeah, we want a parent guarantee on completion, because they're like construction loans.
Yeah.
And so it really helped that Chris Ferraro is a structured finance guy, and Tony Paquette had been the CFO at many places and understood all those banking relationships, because the agreement with Deutsche Bank was like this thick. Then there were 32 of them, right, to borrow. And so, but now that that's done, I pray and call the GC up and my team up there to make sure it's, we're a couple weeks ahead of schedule. Like, we got to build on time and on cost. And other than that, I'm just a landlord collecting the rent.
So you obviously
So very interesting there from Galaxy Digital there. It really makes sense. We see that they were further partners with Deutsche Bank in this data center. So it makes sense that they're partners with the stablecoin. Okay. So very, very, very juicy stuff there. Right. And yeah, so this just cements the fact to me that Zebec is in kind of the driver's seat to be this neobank. So it cements to me where we're heading as far as like this gig economy with everything that's happening with AI and everything that's happening with the robotics. I think Zebec is sitting in the driver's seat, right? So let's go ahead and check out some of our comments here. What's up, Rue Crew? Hey, brother Rue. What's up, Lee? What's up, Bob the Builder? What's good, brother? Buying some more Zebec right now. Epic December coming for ZBCN. What a great day, 100%. Now let's get the market infrastructure legislation moving already. I know, like, once that hits, I think it's going to be a really good time for the market. One of the things that we've had happen right now, which we'll talk about probably in a later episode, is XRP supply shock. I think we're really going to get some XRP supply shock, and I think that's going to be really good for ZBCN. It's really going to be good for ISO and compliant related tokens, okay? As a matter of fact, let me see if I can pull up that Jake Claver comment where he said he's thinking that supply shock is very close here. Okay, so here it is. I'll pull it up and we'll listen to it.
I think all of you are going to be very surprised in the very near future about what XRP does now that we have the ETFs eating through the OTC desk and the dark pool volume. There's not a whole lot left over there. My guess was there was somewhere between 1 billion and maybe up to 2 billion available on the OTC and dark pools. They've already eaten through about 800 million XRP here in just the first week from that. So that's either half or almost all of what was available on the OTC desk in the dark pools. As soon as that is gone, and we're getting more ETFs, more spot ETFs for XRP are launching, and we still don't have the big dogs at the table yet. We still don't have BlackRock, and we still don't have Vanguard. We still don't have Fidelity. I think they're all coming to the table in the very near future with their spot ETFs for XRP. So that would put, if those three came online, we would have more spot ETFs than Bitcoin. And people are like, well, they're only going to buy off the OTC and dark pools, and we're never going to see price appreciation. Strap in because it's not going to last that much longer. We already saw some price movement today. you're going to see some crazy price movement when there's no more available supply through the OTC desk and the dark pools, and they have to go to the exchanges. We already saw a glimmer of this over there on Kraken last week, where we saw XRP at a high of $91, which registered. There's been lots of high prices in the past on BitTrue and Bitstamp and some of these other ones where people video it. But like you go back to look for it and it's not registered. This $91 registered on Kraken.com. So look out. I think a lot of people are going to be very surprised that a lot of what I've been talking about for the past 18 months is going to come to pass here.
So, hey, very interesting there. I think, hey, it's around the corner. And maybe BlackRock could be waiting for the, like you said, the market infrastructure legislation. I don't know. But I think once BlackRock, like Jake said, once BlackRock, Fidelity, and Vanguard come in to XRP and they get ETFs, oh man, expect that to move up, right? And you know, I was gonna make this a different show, but let's talk about it a little bit. And shout out to the patrons. I already shared this with the patrons in open mic night. Definitely, if you guys want to be a part of Patreon, links are in the description. But yeah, this is going to be a separate show. But let's share a little bit of this, because Smoke also had something to say. This was on All in Crypto podcast. Let's shout out to that guy. Let me bring that up here. Again, we're doing it live. I wasn't gonna really talk about this, but hey, it kind of came up. So let me bring this up here. This also relates to Zebec, really, in that Zebec is compliant, right? And one of the things that Smoke said was, hey, compliant cryptos may 100x to 1,000x in the next in 2026. Okay, so I'm all ready for it. I'm definitely ready for the compliant cryptos to 20x. And here, Smoke's gonna be the one to tell us this here. Let me find that and pull it up. Okay, here we go. Okay, let me find the specific part here in the transcripts. Shout out to All In Crypto. Okay. Okay, here it is. We'll play it from here. Definitely go check out the whole episode. Our guy Max is lucky enough to have Smoke come on too. So, you know, definitely check out All In Crypto's whole video with Smoke. But we're just going to play this one little part here.
And that's why your time horizon should be slightly longer than the average retail investor, because that is typically when the most gains are realized over a longer period of time, as opposed to a shorter period of time. And I would certainly add that understanding that 2026 is close, it's around the corner, but it's most likely not going to be a bearish year for crypto assets and utility assets. However, it will be a bearish year for meme coins, speculative tokens, and tokens without compliance. That is a clear warning that I'm seeing in plenty of documentations from institutions, that you should be selective in the assets that you're accumulating, selective in all coins that you're accumulating, and that plenty of 100x and 1,000x opportunities exist, but only to tokens who truly deserve it. And ISO compliant tokens are the tokens that truly deserve it due to their high level integrations, their partnerships.
There he goes. ISO compliant tokens are the ones that truly deserve it. 100 to 1000x in 2026, right? And this kind of gets into why this time is different, right? This time is different because we have ISO compliant tokens having ETFs, right? Back in the day, 2021, Grayscale was on like the OTC market, which isn't, for most people, is not a real market. But now we have crypto ETFs, right in the real NASDAQ American market. We have the president with a meme coin and his first lady with a meme coin. We have, Donald Trump with a crypto hedge fund, DJT. We also have him with a crypto DeFi platform with World Liberty Financial. We also have the Ripple case is over. We have the Genius Act, making it so you can actually do crypto lending with things like Aave, things like Metal X lending, things like Salt, which the Salt platform. Shout out to Paul Barron for bringing those guys onto his channel. You can take a loan against your Bitcoin, and you can get yield on your Bitcoin with agencies like Salt. So we're in an entirely different crypto world than before. And remember, right? Remember the halving, that before the halving, right? This year, Bitcoin broke its all-time high, right? Which was like 70 something. So this time has always been different to me. And that's one of the first indicators to me that this time is different. We broke the high before the halving. So to me, I think that whatever bear we have, the bear market is going to be quicker than before, right? So some people may be thinking they're going to be waiting for a whole like year and a half, like the previous bear market, and it might only be 3 months to 6 months, right? So very well might be January, we're back off and running, or after March, we're back off and running. But it's definitely not going to be like before, okay? There's just too much different. There's too much diamond-handed money. We got like publicly traded companies having like, Vivo Power has a XRP treasury. One company has like a Doge treasury. Another company has a Litecoin treasury, right? I think it's like Texas said they were going to put part of their treasury into Bitcoin. So states have even Bitcoin treasuries now. We know America has some Bitcoin that they have from Hidden Road, or from what's that place? Not Hidden Road. Silk Road. So America still has that Bitcoin, but I don't think they've, like, there have been talks about it, but I don't think they've gone out and bought Bitcoin yet. But we know that Donald Trump through World Liberty Financial has bought and has purchased Ethereum and some other coins. He met with XRP. There are pictures of him with XRP, right? So this time, to me, this time is different. Let's get back to our comments here. Load the cart 100%. What's up, user? Peace. What's up, Flywell Flo Machenko? What's up? What's up, King Pound? I use all my dry powder when ZBCN hit 0.0024. I'm just chilling and patiently waiting. Nice. What's up, that one guy, Ruel from Detroit Mayor? I don't know what Mary Sheffield to think about that current mayor-elect, Mary Sheffield, but hey, maybe one day, man. Maybe one day. King Pound, I will definitely load up more at this point as well. From Kevin Garrett. That trust word, man. They got to make sure they get that in every clip they can. Yeah, 100%. What's up, Salamander? Hello from Texas. Love Texas. Shani Sean, 06, money in and out, tracked 100%. What's good, brother? What's up, Dave F. Jr.? What's up, Dinah Income? Dinah Income. What's a good amount of Zebec? You have to decide that for yourself. You know what I mean? Like, what do you want to hit? I do think that Zebec could hit $1 at some point. When will that happen? Who knows, right? Who can say for sure? But my first point, in which I think Zebec can hit is 5 cents, and I think that's coming soon. But imagine when everyone's using Zebec and everybody's using Zebec cards, and Zebec cards, they contribute to a buyback, which if we scroll up, we kind of get some of that information, how they're improving with, more and more people are using Zebec cards. More and more buybacks are happening, right? So again, Zebec has the mechanism in it to be to push it really high with the buybacks, with how many people that can use these cards. But first, we need the legislation to happen first. First, we need the crypto market infrastructure bill, and then once we see that, I think we see a lot of change, a lot of price increase. Okay, some people are suggesting amounts. I think this is a 5-year project, guys. I mean, and we were talking about this again on Blockchain Buzz a little bit last night. Shout out to my guys, Crypto Future, Maximus Crypto. Definitely go check out the episode. Let me bring it up here. I retweeted it. Definitely go check us out yesterday. One of the things that Rob was talking about is like, hey man, like, I think he was quoting like BitBoy, right? But BitBoy definitely got rich in crypto, right? But one of the things he was saying is like, okay, it took him 8 years to get rich in crypto, right? So if it took us 5 with Zebec, that wouldn't be too big of a deal, but right. But one of the shows that I put out a long time ago was, I said 20 million Zebec will get you to 1 million, and that was based off of, if Zebec gets to 5 cents and you have 20 million, well, you got $1 million, right? And I could see Zebec getting to 5 cents in the near future with all the things that it has going on for it, especially being a global payroll partner of Deutsche Bank, one of the biggest banks in Europe, right? Gotta believe that's something that will push Zebec forward. And also the whole relationship with NatPay, which we'll talk about more in another episode. So yeah. What's up, Anton Jarvis? Hold it and forget about it, 100%. Stake it for sure. What's up, Andy? With all our partnerships way sooner. I know we definitely want it sooner. Let's go Zebecians. What's up, Tony? Yeah, and I think it can be sooner, but again, it's going to take the clarity from the Clarity, quote unquote, Clarity Act, now rebrand it to the Market Infrastructure Bill. Like, think about think about how much they wanted to kind of abstract things away from us. They changed the name of the Clarity Act to the Crypto Market Infrastructure Bill. Okay, so they're constantly changing names of stuff. That's something. Shout out to Jesse from Apex Crypto Insights. How he says, all these different projects they talk about, like Project Enbridge, Project Mariana. All of those are just different projects in which they've tested XRP and ensured that it worked, right? They definitely kind of want to trip us up and not let us be in the know on things. But again, we're right there. We're right at the door. You just heard Jake Claver tell us about how, hey, look, supply shock is happening for XRP, right? And what, a year ago, they were still in this case, which every second they would tell us it was over and it wasn't over and it was over and it wasn't over, but it's actually finally over, right? From King Pound, one and a half cent to 2.5 cents by the end of December. Honestly, it's gonna take time. Yes, indeed. Let's keep going here. What's up, JSK? Thank you for the time spent sharing, Rue. You're appreciated. If you ever need my left kidney, I got you. I think I'm straight on the kidneys, bro. I no drinking around here that much at all, right? It's not very much drinking at all for me. What's up, Peace Wannabe? All in on ZBCN. Retail usage announcement, let's go. What's up, Phantom Beat, XRP, XPR, XLM, Zebec, and SHX is going to sweep through the market once that bill is signed. Again, notice of all the cryptos that Phantom Beat just mentioned, all of these are compliant cryptos. ISO compliant cryptos, MiCA compliant cryptos, SOC 2 compliant cryptos. That's exactly what Smoke was telling us when Smoke said, look, the compliant cryptos, we can see 100x to 1000x, right? So again, now I really firmly believe this. Like it's definitely, when you look at all of it, you look at all connections to FedNow, all these central banks, all these different things for retail and things like that. This time is different. This time is different. Thank you, JSK, for the repost. Yes, indeed. Prayer hands and a muscle. Let's go. Same here, plus XPR and loan protocol. Yes, indeed. Honestly, man, think about it. Regardless of how the market looks right now, most people who load their bags with some projects we discuss here will probably be wealthy. 100%. With patience, of course. Yes, indeed. One of the things that Smoke mentioned in that all-in interview is that these cryptos are gaining a floor, right? And the floor keeps increasing. And if you look at the chart, Smoke's right. Smoke's right. Look at XRP, right? We might not be happy about how things have went down right now, but if I remove the moon phases, right? Since Trump has come into office, we've gotten like a $2 floor on XRP, where XRP was sitting at a 50-cent floor, right? And this is Coinbase chart, so it's not showing all of what XRP is. Let's go to this one. So, right? So, again, when we had to go back to 2021, and we still got a bigger floor since then, right? Now, come December, come, March, middle of 2026, when Trump may get these dividend payments out. And remember, the whole dividend / stimulus payments, a lot of that stuff went into crypto and catapulted the markets. Now imagine middle of 2026, we get dividend payments, and we got market the Clarity Act, or Crypto Markets Infrastructure Bill, right? We got not only retail money, we got hedge fund money coming into crypto in these ETFs, in these spot ETFs. Not only that, we have foreign access to the American ETFs through coins like Ondo and things like that. It can be a very, very explosive 2026 coming up, guys. A very, very explosive 2026. So here I was just showing you that, yeah, these coins have gotten bigger floors, And for XRP, going past like $3 to 60 something cents, that's what's next. But it's probably going to be a big leap up, right? Now, Jay Claver just told you about, hey, it went all the way up to 91 on Kraken, right? Can you imagine a $91 XRP? For a lot of people, that would change your life right now, right? If you had a $91 XRP. But imagine that XRP needs to be, I heard some people say, including Jake Glaver, talk about, well, it needs to be at least at $1,000 to I think he said $1,000. It might have been $10,000 for it to work properly, right? Imagine $1,000 XRP. Imagine how that could change your life. Just if you had 100 XRP and 100, at 100 XRP, that's, at $1,000 a pop, that's $100,000, right? If you have 1,000 of them and it goes to $1,000, then you're a millionaire. Like that's crazy stuff. Knowing that, right? This is something that our central banking system has to use. This is not like where it's Bitcoin and it's okay. And I'm not trying to down Bitcoin, right? I'm not trying to down it. It's a great store of value in all of this, but our central bank is not using it like that. So when you look at XRP, something that the central bank is using, they're going to have to use. It's kind of an inevitability that it makes it to 10K a coin, right? But do you have the stomach to hold on to it? Do you have the stomach to hold? That's the only thing. Do you have the stomach, the patience, the fortitude to hold? That's where we're at right now. So they will. Intentions all Zebecians, patience, our time is coming. Over 1 million loan is the next step. BBS, thank you, Ruel. Appreciate you. No problem. Lone Whale, yes, indeed. Phantom Beat, got my bags packed on loan too. ISOL, matey, that's what I be hunting. I love it. I'm thinking December 15th, 20th Coinbase listings. There are three more XRP ETFs launching this week. That's what I've heard. So maybe we see this supply shock for XRP start to kick in. I think we definitely see a new all-time high sometime very, very soon. All right. Let's see here. Coinbase will automatically take this to pennies. You never know sometimes with listings, right? Like the Kraken listing, it actually went down, but then with the Stronghold listing, right? Stronghold got listed on Uphold for real for everybody on Uphold, and it went from sub penny at there at 0.0074 all the way up to like 0.015. So could we see something insanely crazy like that with Zebec? Maybe so. Maybe so. Well, honestly, for me right now, I really say that I know you're saying like official ISO announcement. I kind of feel like the official ISO announcement was that they're partnered with NatPay. But we'll get into that a little bit more in the next episode. Darn, I eat more. Thinking ISO once an ISO is announced, but I'm thinking it should be done soon since the partnerships already are ISO compliant. Or yeah, exactly. Binance will send this to orbit. Strap in. Let's go, Bob the Builder. K9 CFC. So within days of ISO, it will run and crash. Well, ISO has already happened. So I don't foresee it just crashing because of ISO or anything like that. I don't see that at all. King Pound, fair point. bought in, waiting for 0.0024. I don't think it'll go down that far. It already did go down that far, but I think that was kind of like a cash grab because you know, all of the liquidation, all the leverage traders, I think they just grabbed all that leverage trading money, and that's all that was. What's up, E, our moderator in our Telegram, Mr. Baby Ears? What's good, crypto fam? Hope all is well. Cryptocurrency adoption is well on its way. We are just early. Yes, indeed. Fun. I'm holding long term. This is the new financial system here, 100%. Hashbacks, yo, iHeart, Vanguard, BlackRock, and State Street were all owned and operated by the same people. They are. Vanguard, in fact, owns part of BlackRock in that they own part of the stock. Vanguard owns part of every Fortune 500 company. So does BlackRock. So Vanguard owns part of BlackRock. Excuse me. Vanguard might be the only company that might be bigger than BlackRock, to be honest with you. But they're all kind of interconnected. I think Vanguard owns part of BlackRock, and BlackRock owns part of State Street. Like it's crazy. Like they're all interconnected. You heard right, Hash. What's up, Chris Lake? I have some XRP too, but it's not 0.0028. My assignment is at Zebec. Yes, indeed. I own them both. I'm high on both of them. There's no way. Yeah, you should definitely be high on both, in my opinion. Just my opinion. Make your own decision there, not financial advice. Kurt Lewis, 594. I saw the Zebec promotion last night during the St. Louis game on the wall, on the promo boards all throughout the game. Let's go. I know also they posted one about Detroit, where they showed the Detroit promotion. So here it is. They're showing the Uphold one. They showed Uphold again there. So yeah, it's being advertised. It's being advertised. I wonder if I should trade some XRP for more ZBCN. You know what? I don't really rock with that. I like holding my XRP and keeping my ZBCN. I'm holding both of them. I would never say for someone to trade their XRP for the ZBCN, but it's up to you. You know, they're North Angel. We need to have a discussion about exchanges offering APY to hold USDC or USD. Do you think it's a good deal to do? I think it's a great deal. They're offering better interest than the bank, and this was something that like back in 2021 people could do, but you had to do it through something like Celsius, which went belly up because they were offering too much interest, right? Or a DeFi platform. So now instead of having it through DeFi, it's just directly available on the exchange. So you know, I think it's a great idea to do because you know it's again, like, these exchanges are neobanks, so you can just hold your stuff in stable there and just earn an interest, and it pays it out, I think, almost daily, or like at least every 2 days, I think. So yeah, got most of my ZBCN at 007. Shout out to Future. Don't forget your Proton. I haven't gotten into that meme coin, Leostar 666. I haven't gotten to that meme coin yet, but I do like Proton. I do like what's going on with XPR. XPR is another coin. That whole Metallicus platform is another coin that is compliant. Okay, so let's talk about that. Talking about coins and their compliance. let's see here. So let's look here. Metallicus. So Zebec, we already know they got SOC 2 compliance. They got KYC, KYB, and AML. The reason why Grok included this is because this is going to be very important for you when you're getting stable coins. You got to be known to have these stable coins, right? Because they go all the way back to the central bank. So you must be known to receive them, right? Because the central bank needs to know and track who you are. So that's why AI included this, right? So they have U.S. payroll compliance, and they also have MiCA compliance. This is Zebec. Next is Metallicus. They have money transmitter license, so they're literally acting as a bank, right? They have the SOC 2. They have the KYC, BSA, and KYC. They also have the ISO because they're a FedNow service provider, and they have an EU license. So again, when we think about compliant cryptos, like Smoke said, going 100x to 1000x, Metallicus is one of the first two that we need to have in our mind as in that conversation. And they have their own lending platform, and these lending platforms, I talked about this earlier, are going to be huge, right? So the first one to kind of do lending platforms like this was Aave, and then other companies kind of branched out and did their own. So right here, MetalX lending, this is kind of their version of what Aave does. They do it, they got Cardano, they got Bitcoin, they got Litecoin, Metal Dollar, their own dollar, which they're going to kind of translate. Definitely go check out my show where I talked about Metal Dollar and how important it's going to be for credit unions, how important it's going to be to connecting to the rest of the world, right? So we got Solana, Ethereum, Stellar, Ripple. They're offering like some money back on these. So kind of no different than what Coinbase is going to do for you with your little, with your USDC within their platform. Yet, Metal is offering a little bit more, right? So there we go with MetalX lending. What was it? I wanted to say something else here. Okay, so how important lending platforms are going to be in the future. Kraken is doing their own lending platform called, I think it's called Tidro or something like that. So that whole thing with Kraken and Ink, we really got to start watching out, looking for that. Kraken seems like it's going to be a force coming up soon. Once they go publicly traded, I might have to buy some of their stock. So Kraken is doing this with their cells, where it's going to be kind of a fork of Aave, where they're going to do their own type of lending platform. Aave, the world's largest and most trusted decentralized finance network, earn, borrow, and save more. Ink Foundation is an independent entity that stewards the Ink Layer 2 and its own ecosystem to realize the vision of open on-chain capital markets, right? It's an extension of Kraken, right? So this is Kraken, Aave, Chaos Labs, and Veda. Starting to see this symbol around a lot. This looks like the symbol that's on Kate Cunningham's shoe. And it looks kind of like a pentagram, if you will, there. Take what you will from that, right? Take what you will from that. Looks kind of like a pentagram. Shout out to our first super chat of the day from Bob the Builder. Appreciate you, brother. Minimum of 100 for liquidity on XRP, but 1K will be much better. Agreed there, brother. Thank you for the $9.99 super chat. Really appreciate it, brother. So generous. Also, Patreon Appreciate you, brother. Thank you so much for being a loyal supporter for so long, man. Really appreciate it. Yeah, so I agree with that with XRP, guys. Like the whole thing, the whole narrative where people were saying like they were swapping all their XRP for Zebec. I really don't agree with that. I really think you should own both. Not financial advice, do whatever you want, but knowing how XRP is going to be like the real-time global settlement coin, right? Shout out to our guy Jesse from Apex Crypto Insights. Why would you not want to own the thing that's going to do global settlement, global or realm-wide settlement, right? It would almost be foolish not to, right? That would be like saying, okay, I'm going to trade my gold for something else, right? Seeing as how everything used to be backed by gold, right? XRP might be digital gold or digital silver, right? I'm going to play with that. I'm going to play with that in the episode because I really think here once kind of silver breaks out, I think XRP is going to break out too. I know a lot of you don't necessarily, some of you actually do like when I do the gematria stuff, but some of you actually do like that. But like one of the things I noticed, and I had noticed this before with the whole XPR or XDR, the special drawing rights, and then Smoke, Jesse, and Max did a show on it. I had noticed this before with the numbers for XRP, and as far as that goes with the special drawing rights, right, and XRP and Bitcoin and all of that, right? But now XRP, you look at that, and then you match it to silver. I think it's silver, right? Yeah, they have like the same resonance. So for their like 85 for silver, 58 for XRP, it's very, very interesting. It's very, very interesting. I'm wondering too, XAU. Silver is AG, right? I think gold is AU. Okay, not so sure with that one. But oh well, I mean it is the same thing there. But very interesting stuff to think about there. So more on that later though. More on that later. Honestly, I want to see more development in both DeFi and centralized yield offerings for digital assets. Appreciating assets plus higher yields percentages seem more lucrative to me. Well, let's see here. What can we open up Aave? Because I know for a long time Aave was not available in the US. Maybe it might actually be available now. Okay, so they're offering some yield on USD, USDE. They're offering yield on that. Now we're gonna opt out of those analytics there. Okay, so they got quite a few things that they offer some yield on. And you can borrow. I haven't tried to play with these type of things yet, but maybe something to look at. But again, you can do the same thing with MetalX lending. So I don't know that you want to necessarily do it on Ave's platform with the Ave coins. But you can do the exact same thing here with MetalX lending and the MetalX platform. So interesting. So, I don't try to get too much into DeFi other than what I do with MetalX lending, because I know I'm going to hold these tokens for a while, and I know I'm very confident in XPR, and definitely check out my videos on Metallicus and stuff like that. And other coins I'm confident on. I stake with Uphold, and of course, I'm staking some ZBCN as well. What's up, Detroit salute, Zebec? What's up, Big Dre? Appreciate you. Can probably be fair if everything is going digital. I don't see a problem in allocating some of your portfolio to USDC for yield diversification. In that sense, wouldn't hurt, in my honest opinion. Yeah, like honestly, if you're thinking that, and of course, like you could say, like, okay, well, I don't know why you would do it now. The better time would have been when everything was kind of up in the market, right? You would take some profits and you put some things over into stable coins and just hold for a drop, right? That would have been the time to do that. But you could definitely hold some to the side in stable coin and earn a little yield on it for a little rainy day, right? I don't know why you would do that now with the market the way it is right now. But it's all up to you. It's all up to you there. Can't move that amount with 5 cents. Not sure it's just in there, Eric. What's up with Zebec's ISO 20022 compliance? Will it be officially announced? You think? Honestly, I don't know when it'll be officially announced, but I think the deal with NatPay is kind of officially it. Like, I don't even think they need to say anything else. That's it. That's them being ISO compliant. But of course, they're gonna try to maybe they're gonna try to like delay announcing it for something when it's the most opportune time for them. But I think it's clear to me with the NatPay partnership that they're ISO compliant. Well, let's check out their website. Okay, so it still says kind of in progress. It hasn't changed yet. But again, you would have to think that they're ISO compliant. Two reasons. Not only with their deal with NatPay, you would also think with WageLink, right? That they're testing WageLink. WageLink uses USDC. USDC is ISO compliant, obviously, right? To work with Ripple and to work with all of these different, entities that Circle works with. I'm pretty sure they're ISO compliant. But yeah, until we get something official, I guess we can wait for that. Upon the Clarity Act, I wonder how many of these utility-focused companies will actually be left. What's your thoughts on that? Well, my thoughts is like anything that doesn't have compliance will probably fall to the wayside. Everything that seems to have compliance and seems to be like actually working with companies and continuously getting partnerships will survive. Like how long has it been since we heard of Dash, right? But they're still operating, they're still working. I'm sure they have compliances too. Dash does. Anything that's working with these large companies and they actually have like compliances, I think those are the companies that are going to survive. But like, could I put a number on how many of those are? I couldn't say. But I think the biggest thing would be to me would be to look for do these companies actually have a compliance? We know that Zebec does. Shout out to the Patreon too. We were talking about another company that people don't really talk about that has SOC 2 compliance. We also saw connections to them in the Overledger. So definitely check out that we were talking about that on the open mic night. But you know, I think there are a few companies out there that like that company we found in an open mic night, that's ISO compliant, or I'm sorry, that's SOC 2 compliant, that people don't even know they're SOC 2 compliant. What price do you think Zebec will get to by 226? Ooh, good question. Well, let's say 426. 426, let's say 5 cents by 426. 426, okay. And what is 426? That's April, right? I want to get right before the selling may walk away type of deal, right? So back to $1. What's up, Strawberry Dragons? So Lee saw Coinbase state that there will be Coinbase system upgrade for December 17th. Think there's something cooking there? There just may be. There just may be. Interesting. Lowest price prediction for XPR by the end of February. Again, and this is just, you know, price prediction, who knows, right? Let's say 17 cents. Again, if we look at market cap of a 17 cents, will put it around 5 billion total supply, or 5 billion market cap. Honestly, I could see that out of Metallicus. Again, if you look at where they are, or what they're doing, all the compliances they have, all the different connections as far as like connected to base with the metal layer 2, you know, being basically the middleman for credit unions to connect out to ISO 20022, being that Fed now service provider. They're basically going to onboard all credit unions. You know, you definitely expect them to see some price appreciation and sometime soon, right? So all I'm doing is just compiling, like when you think about it, right? Why wouldn't you be over here earning some tokens from them and lending, quote unquote, to them, which is like their version of staking, kind of lending to them to get some of their tokens back, some XPR back, some loan token back, right? There was an XPR price glitch to $700. That's crazy, bro. That's crazy. What is the XPR? I don't know off the top of my head, but let me go look. What is the XPR total supply? Okay, circulating supply, 28 billion. Total supply, around 31 billion. Let me go to coin market cap. Is it an infinite supply? Okay, yeah, total supply is 31 plus billion. Circulating supply is 28 plus billion. Okay. Yeah. So 17 doesn't seem like a bad idea. Doesn't seem too bad. 17 cents. Kevin Haslett was in an interview not too long ago, was asked to clarify President Trump's $2,000 stimulus, or he calls it dividend, $2,000 dividend payments, could potentially be lower for lower income residents, he said probably. Well, I know they say if you make over $100,000, you're not eligible. You know, so people like engineers, like I'm an engineer, not eligible. You know, depending on your housing status and or so I think if you're a single engineer like myself, I would be ineligible. But if you're an engineer with a family and kids and all of that, you might possibly be eligible depending on what your wife does, right? Um, well, what about the fact that none of us on this side of the pond are paying attention to the UK with Quant and ZBCN will already be in play. What's going to be a price driver of appreciation? Well, that's a good question. I know it seems like UK is like dragging their feet with crypto. In that stablecoin interview, Simon Babakani was like, "Okay, well, here in the UK, they're not. We don't have anything brewing yet in the UK, right?" And it seems like that's really, that's where Quant's really impactful and important. So that whole FCA, which we were just showing here, this FCA thing hasn't happened yet. I gotta believe now with what's going on with now that ISO is live for the rest of the world, that the UK gets its its foot out of its own butt and starts to get crypto regulation moving. But everything that we've seen from people like Monty Metzger, Simon Babakani, all these different players, and knowing what's going on in England, that they move slow with what they do stuff. So maybe we see it after we get everything clear in America, and then we see England move. So I think it was something Monty Metzger said. He said something like America innovates and England does something else. So they're probably going to be the last ones to get it done. What's up, Brocktrip? What's up, Zebecnet? We're family, hold tight and stay convicted, 100%. Trump being cheap, Biden gave illegals 10K. Well, let's not get too political down that realm. Let me be right back here. I need to get some water. My voice is going out. I'll be right back. Alrighty, we're back here. Got some coffee. Even better. Trump. Okay, there we go. Kevin Hassett is a potential choice for the next Fed chair. Just in case people don't know who he is, there we go. Start that. Thank you, Kevin Garrett. Yep, December 17th, Coinbase is cooking. If XRP is at $91, what's Zebec going to be at 50 cents? That's a good question. If XRP is at $91, that'd be interesting. But honestly, if XRP is at $91, where's XLM? And if XLM is at that price, where's XDC? So I would look along that line, along the ISO line for things that are trying to work with the central banks, right? So again, or for that matter, going back to what Bob the Builder said, where would Quant be if XRP is at $91? Knowing how Quant fits into this whole thing, which shout out to the patrons. We went over it in the open mic night. We went over some things that Overledger does, some of the things that connect into the Open Ledger. for quant. It's amazing to think about, guys. It's really amazing to think about. With Overledger and XRP, you can program the money to do anything. You can get any type of data you want anywhere. It's gonna be insane. Is Zell connected with Zebec Super App? According to Simon Babacani, that is true. Now let's go ahead and play that another short that I made. Shout out to me and my shorts. Let's go. Whoa, pause. Shout out to me and my short clips. Let's go ahead and play that out. Play this one right quick.
Well, banks entering the space is actually a net positive for companies like Zebec for a variety of reasons. Number one, the more banks that now issue and transact with stablecoins means that we can tap an even larger number of corporates in the US. That's the first benefit. So we're going to see more and more banks opt in, which opens us up to a much bigger share of the $11 trillion in annual US payroll volume. And then when you see bank-led consortiums like Zelle entering the stablecoin space, that is another net positive for Zebec, because now we'll be able to connect Zelle Pay to the Zebec Super App, meaning that through a simple Zelle push, you'll be able to load stablecoins directly into your Zebec app. That is the easiest, cleanest off-ramp that you could ever build. Well, banks entering the space.
So there we have it from the CEO. Zelle is going to be connected into the Super App. There's a 90% chance that either Coinbase or Binance lists ZBCN between now and the end of Q2 2026. What's up, digital nomad investor in the house? 80% chance that both will list ZBCN between now and the end of Q2 2026. You gotta believe, just like we saw this kind of price pump from Stronghold, right? If those two list ZBCN, I know sometimes listings have like a effect where it drains off, but you gotta believe that they get more liquidity because of it. But again, we've seen things like Fireblocks and all these institutional investors grab ZBCN. We even saw them in the Bloomberg index. So we gotta believe that greater days are coming for Zebec. They've done so many things to show us that they're a valid, good company here. I cannot wait to see where we land. Go put our alerts back. Knew I was missing an alert. All right. Okay. And here we go. I want to show Bob's super chat again. Yo from New Zealand. What's up to the moon? I really want to get out there one of these days to New Zealand and Australia. Shout out to Coach Greg Adams. He's out in Australia right now. Yeah, man. I really want to get out there one of these days. Metal is making them look like little punks. Love to loan and XBR. Shout out Phantom Beat. How the globalist bunker construction going there? Oh man, is there some type of stuff like that going on in New Zealand now? What's up, Lamar Hutchinson? What was the metal ticker again? XPR. And you can buy most of these through. Oh, I just closed that. You can buy most of these through the Metal Pay app. Let me go open that back up. I know Metal Pay is not available in some states. I think it's like maybe just New York, but you get the Metal Pay app. You can buy XPR. You can also buy their metal token, which is another one to look at. Which their metal token, they have. Let me see, let me show you. So here's the ticker. There's XPR, which is basically like kind of their gas token, but they have a whole network with XPR. It's a whole bunch of utility with XPR, and then their metal blockchain token, 23 cents, went all the way up to like what, 70? It was as high as $1 or something, right? What was this? Do they show the all-time high? Yeah, all-time high 165. All-time low was 3 cents. I wish I had scooped these up at 3.5 cents. I had the chance to. But still, 23 cents is really good considering there's only 666,000. So you see all those sixes. So, think what you want to think about that right there. But yeah, I'm getting some metal. You can stake metal on their metal chain too. So this one you can't stake on the metal lending platform. You have to do it through the WebAuth wallet. Their WebAuth wallet has KYC built in. What's up, Jose De La Torre in the house? Let's freaking go. Zebecnet. What's up, Tony S? JBal21. Aave partnered with Tangem, and we can now yield on certain stables. I did see something like that on the Paul Barron network. They can't do yield on RLUSD, but they can do yield on certain things. So yeah, I saw that on the Paul Barron network. Shout out to Paul Barron. Rue, can you tell me about WeFi? What do you think? NEOBANK? WeFi. Let's look that up right quick. Is this the WeFi you're talking about? Let me know if this is right. 1 billion. Let's go to their Twitter. Okay, that looks like the one you're talking about. Looks like the same ticker. As I bring this up, I'm gonna close some tabs. It's trying to bring it up. I don't know why it's having such hard time here. Okay, 1 second. I'm trying to bring up its Twitter site. It's struggling. Okay, here it is. Can you see it? No. Okay, there. No. What's going on here? Am I frozen or can you guys see me? Okay, let me see here. I'm gonna stop sharing and share again. And then share this. Okay. Okay, that was weird. That was really weird. Okay. Let's see. Okay. World's first NEOBANK, decentralized on-chain bank, AI-powered KYC for borderless. Blah, 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 blah. Okay. Interesting. Not too many people following it that we know. Check out their website. Why we build WeFi. Reeve Collins. I've heard that name before, I think. Tether. Okay, founder and ex-CEO of Tether. Um, okay, interesting. Okay, I have to do some research on this. Ba, 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 ba. It keeps messing up when I try to share this. I don't know why. Let's see here. My whole thing is just messed up right now. Trying to share this. Let me try. Do it one more time. Okay, I closed it. All right. So well, yeah, we'll have to get into Wi-Fi. We'll have to get into that one in a future episode. I don't know why it keeps messing up here when I'm trying to share it. But let's continue on here. It's interesting that it's by a guy from Tether here. So it's really interesting. Let's try it one more time here. So yeah, we might have to get into this in a future episode. So I'm really curious to understand who about this. If they got some compliances and things going on. If it's from a former CEO of Tether, gotta believe they have some type of thing going for them. But yeah, we'll check that out in a future episode. Let's see. What is the difference between Xano and Ghost? Where for a minute I was going Dr. Dre both. Do they provide privacy? Okay, let's see here. I was looking at that too. It just seems like they want to have different methods for privacy. Let's see. Stop sharing that. Stop sharing that. Okay, sorry about this. It keeps messing up. It looks like I was sharing two things when I'm only sharing one. Okay, well, let's try it again. Okay, so looks like, let's see that Ghost Share. I haven't looked at that partnership too much. I just saw that they were doing it. Okay, so let's see here. Yeah, so originally built and backed by Solana, is partnering with Ghostwave to enable private on-chain settlement for Solana stablecoins across our product suite. Okay, so if that makes okay for me, if what I'm hearing there is that you can privately settle any stable coin on Solana with this. If that, I don't know if that's true or not, but from what it says, to enable private on-chain settlement for Solana stablecoins across our product suite. So no matter what coin they have on on Solana suite, it can be private. That's what I'm hearing there. The privacy layer of Solana. Okay. So yeah, that's what it sounds like. So any privacy coin that goes across their suite can be private. Enable stable coin support on GhostPay, memos. Okay. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting. That would fall right in line with the stuff that we were just hearing from the Solana mobile phone guy, where they would need some privacy and things like that. So, hey, that's pretty cool. That's a really cool feature where any stablecoin on a Solana network could be private. That's pretty interesting. So, bro, you'll be sitting courtside at a Pistons game wearing that Zebec jersey. It was Zebec does numbers. What's up, Dreamer? Patron in the house. Yes, indeed, I will, man. Yes, indeed, I will. I'll be over there slapping hands with Anton Daniels or something at the Pistons game. That'd be nice, man. That'd be nice. What's up, Charlie J? Thank you. Thank you, Ruel. No problem. No problem. So yeah, let's get a little bit more into this Wi-Fi thing again. I don't know why it was having so much trouble. Let's share this tab. NASDAQ, Visa, Wise. It's just so hard when you see you see here founder Tether, founder of Exitflow, ex-product developer Wise, ex-COO TradeLeaf, ex-CEO National Bank of Dubai. You know, they got some people. They got some people for sure. But then it's just like, okay, you're already so invested in other projects, but I'll have to look into this. See where they're going here. See, it seems like a lot of these things might be just. It's interesting. Visa, okay. So they're not stepping on Zebec's toes, so to speak. Zebec had some Visa cards, but it seemed like they made more of a push over there to MasterCard. So maybe this will be kind of just the Visa version of that. I don't know. It's just hard to say, like, how long have they been around? I mean, I see they got a nice team here, but you know, I have to just do a little bit more research and see how we go with that. What's up, Hit Gary Daily? But yeah, guys, nice show today. I wanted to hit you guys on a Sunday. If you made it to the end, if you can put NEOBANK in the comments, in the comments of the show, not in the not the comments of the live show, but once the live show ends, if you put it in the comments of the video, it'll help spread the video around. Definitely let your family and friends know. We're really trying to make a push to 10K subscribers here. We're very, very close to 8,500. So thank you guys so much for coming out. I'm out, guys. Peace.